necessarily those of WVON, Midway Broadcasting Corporation, or our participating sponsors.
If you're not out of the bed yet, then what are you waiting for? It's the WVON Morning Show with Rufus Williams on 1690 WVON.
Every day you're walking by and I can see how you shine. Here I am alone with nothing but a dream that you are mine. Just exactly what I'll do, I don't know, baby, but I gotta find a way to reach you. Tell me what I gotta do to get to your house. Tell me where I gotta go to be with you. Tell me what I gotta say to speak to your heart. Tell me what I need to know tonight.
Keep your eyes on the road and both hands on the steering wheel. We will not be held responsible for any accidents. It's the WVON Morning Show with Rufus Williams on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
The Audio Genius.
Get in on the conversation with Rufus Williams and the Morning Show at 591-1690. We are the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Good morning, and welcome to finally Thursday. It is the 19th of March, the year 2026. It's the Rufus Williams Show. I'm Rufus Williams, and as always, thrilled, excited, just absolutely delighted to be here with you this morning. And thank you so much for waking up with Rufus. Everybody's here in the studio. Annette, how are you doing today?
Oh, good morning to you. I'm doing great. I'm excited because tomorrow is actually the official first day of spring. It comes exactly at 9:46 Central Standard Time. And so that's when we're expected to see our temperature start to really rise into that mid-50 zone and kind of stay there. So I'm happy about that.
It's hard for anybody not to say that the weather in Chicago is not bananas. It has been everything in the last week. I played golf Monday of last week. Then we had snow. We had much too cold, and now it's starting to warm back up. It's just, you can't make any sense out of this. None whatsoever. Titus, how you doing this morning?
I'm doing great. I woke up feeling in good spirits this morning. We are officially one day away from the big day. So, I'm feeling very good. I thought about my mom when we were driving this morning, and I was thinking to myself, what would she say to me right now? And then I know exactly what she would say. She would say, oh, well, I'm starting to feel those contractions. So get ready. Here we go. So I had a good laugh this morning. So I'm in good spirits.
That's good. We're still going through all these firsts, Titus. This will be your first birthday without her. Happy birthday to you, in case I forget.
Thank you. And I did not bring the cupcakes and champagne. I actually forgot them. I was helping out a friend yesterday, so I said I was going to bring them, but I'm actually bring them Monday.
Yeah, that's convenient, Titus. We'll see. We'll see when Monday.
It'll definitely happen Monday.
But we won't see you tomorrow.
Oh, you will not see me tomorrow.
Titus is taking tomorrow
I
off.
did call Candace yesterday, and I told her I would try to call in for the 411.
Okay. And what did she say?
She said good.
Oh, but Rufus, actually, Titus is not taking the day off. He's getting the day off from the boss. The boss has now given us this new thing where she's giving us the day off on our birthdays. So that's why he's getting it. It's a birthday present.
It's a birthday present. What a gift. Now, anyway, what a gift. How nice. I'm just going to leave it right there. It's good. It's good. And I am not getting the day off for my birthday.
Why not?
Because my birthday is a national holiday. So we always get it off on December 30th.
Trick question. Okay, I get that. But you would get it. You know what? I would negotiate. I would go ahead and take it, the day before or after. So talk to HRs. Let's see what we can do.
They gave us that trick question to write down our birthday, so we couldn't even fake it. So I'm happy for all of you who get your birthday off as this gift from the boss. How wonderful.
Well, that's okay. You know, yours is going to be on a Wednesday this year, so you got it.
I'm going to take it. It just, I never, ever. The only time I worked on my birthday was when I came here to do WVON because Matt was vacationing on the day.
That's true.
And I came in and we had been out partying the night before, partying the day. It's whatever it is, but no complaints. I'm happy for you and hope you enjoy it. Have you filled out your bracket?
Yes, I did.
Annette, you fill out your bracket?
No, I haven't.
Annette, you got to fill out your bracket. The game is again at 11 o'clock. You got to fill out your bracket.
Okay, I got to fill it out. Now, I'm not going to promise that I'm going to just because I got to, but we'll talk.
Annette, you got to, you're going to, because it makes it more fun, no matter what, no matter who you come out with, even if you pick Prairie View to win, which they just might do. No matter who, it just makes it more interesting when you got something in the game. I
got you. I think I saw something or read something earlier yesterday where President Obama said he filled out his bracket. So, maybe I'll jump on board.
Yeah,
here.
Well, he's a fan, so he always does. And then let me ask you, because I shot you the note as soon as I saw it yesterday morning. Cesar Chavez, was that stunning to you? The fact that he is now, this guy had been celebrated as this leader in farm rights over all these years. And now the New York Times has done this investigation that comes back and says he had been abusing young girls going way back. In all of that time, it has been, even those who were with him refused to elevate this at any point because they did not want to upset the movement. And this is one, I mean, it's so shocking and so stunning. And it comes, so many years after his death. And the woman who stood beside him and all this time actually was also abused by him at 36 years old, but it became different for her when she learned that he had been abusing those who had been as young as 12 years old. So just a shocking turn of things. They are now stopping the celebrations of Cesar Chavez, covering up his statues. It just changes everything that this happens. And I pray that nothing else is happening with anybody else that gets disclosed in this way. It just, the farm movement and the unionization all went forward because of even more sacrifices than it appears that these women had, but it's just a stunning and shocking and troubling state of affairs. It's on every single level. We got calls already this morning, and my guest isn't on yet, but I'm sure he'll be on shortly. He was, I got a call this morning saying he was traveling. But Miss Eunice, let's begin with you. Good morning. And welcome.
Good morning, Rufus. How are you today?
I'm doing great, Miss Eunice. How are you?
I'm just calling in advance. Happy birthday to Titus, and I wish him a many more. And I just adore him, and he's wise beyond his years. And thank you for taking my call.
Titus has a lot of years. I don't know if he's wise beyond them, but he is wise nonetheless. But thank you.
Yes, he is. And I don't see how he do all that work, but he's qualified, I can tell.
He's making it happen. Thanks, Miss Eunice.
Yes.
He appreciates that. He would say something, but he's on the phone.
Sure.
As
Thank
doing many jobs as he always does. But thank you so much for calling in with that sentiment. I'm guessing that this is my guest who's coming up. And in fact, it is none other than Dr. Keith Green. Dr. Green is the executive director at the Chicago Black Gay Men's Caucus. Dr. Green, good morning and welcome to WVON. How are you today?
Good morning. Good morning. I'm well. Thanks for having me. How are you?
I'm doing great. You got a lot of traveling going on, as I heard this morning, but I do want to talk to you really particularly about the work you're doing here in Chicago and the Truth Awards. Talk to us about the work you're doing here.
Yeah, so I'm currently the executive director for the Chicago Black Gay Men's Caucus, as well as the Chicago Methamphetamine Task Force. I'm a founding member of the caucus. We started in 2005, actually in partnership with the Chicago Department of Public Health, after a 5-city study, which did not include Chicago, suggested that upwards of 46% of Black, gay, bisexual, and same-gender loving men across the country were living with HIV. Shout out to Laura Branch, whom many may know as DJ Lori Branch, but at the time she was the HIV/AIDS section chief at the health department, who reached out to a number of us from community, folks working in community-based organizations, party club promoters, et cetera, to organize folks to figure out how we get prevention and treatment information out to folks. And that was really the impetus and the start of the Chicago Black Gay Men's Caucus. We've been around now for 20 years. We are a community convener, collaborator, and I like to say conscious coordinator of HIV and other health-related resources across the city.
Yeah, so anybody who's been to or heard of the House Picnic has heard of DJ Lloyd Branch, who's been on with us.
That's right.
Be on with us again to do that. How is it going? Where do we stand currently, Dr. Green, with respect to Black men and HIV?
Well, we are still disproportionately impacted by HIV in the city of Chicago. We, due to advances in treatment and specifically prevention, and specific prevention modality that we know as PrEP or pre-exposure prophylaxis, we began to see significant decreases amongst all populations, although we continued, Black, gay, bisexual, same gender loving men continue to be disproportionately impacted. We are now beginning to see increases, largely because of what's going on. We have politicized health in ways that should never be politicized. So over the past couple of years, we've started to see increases in new diagnoses. So we're really sort of making sure that folks know what they need to do to protect themselves, to stay safe. We have pre-exposure prophylaxis in a couple of different forms, both pill, long-acting injectables. And then we know that U equals U, undetectable viral load equals untransmittable HIV. And so making sure that people who are living with HIV know their status, are on treatment, and are then not likely to transmit HIV to anyone else.
And don't run and don't hide from it, because it may in fact harm you and harm someone else. We're talking with Dr. Keith Green. He's here in Chicago, but he's traveling. He's got a big award that he's going to receive coming up this weekend. We'll talk about that when we come back right after this.
More of the morning show with Rufus Williams coming up on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Hi, I'm Lori Smith, host of Meeting the Moment, coming to WVON beginning Saturday, March 21st at 12 noon. WVON, in partnership with the Chicago Community Trust, developed Meeting the Moment to amplify the voices of nonprofits across Chicagoland, giving them the communication tools they need to expand their reach and turn awareness into action. Right now, our communities are facing real challenges, from economic uncertainty to public safety to access and equity. But in the middle of it all, there are organizations doing the work quietly, faithfully, powerfully. With Meeting the Moment, we'll have honest conversations about the issues shaping our region, and more importantly, the solutions happening on the ground. And each week, we'll feature a Chicagoland nonprofit making a difference. You'll hear their story and find out how you can support their work. Because Meeting the Moment is about more than just awareness. It's about impact. Join the Meeting the Moment movement, a program designed for the doers. For more information, visit WVON.com/meetingthemoment. Listen every Saturday at 12 noon, right here on WVON 1690, the Talk of Chicago. Let's meet the moment together. Powered by the Chicago Community Trust.
Hey everybody, it's your boy Maticus, the Black Spartan Show. It's the Black Talk Check-In every day from 12 to 3 on your favorite radio station, WVON. We are speaking Black power to Black people every single day. Facebook Live, join us. The conversation is blasting there. Share it with everybody you know. This talk needs to be heard all around the world because it's the Black Power Station, 1690 AM, WVON.
Losing sleep is one of the hardest parts of being a new parent. Every parent has been there, struggling to stay awake as they sit in a chair with their baby, trying to get them to eat or go back to sleep. In these situations, when you are holding your baby and you think you might fall asleep, it is always safest to put them in a crib, bassinet, or portable play yard, even if they are crying or haven't finished eating. Many infant deaths happen when parents fall asleep while holding their babies in chairs, on couches, in beds. So if you can't stay awake, put your baby down. For more safe sleep tips and resources, go to oneshyfam.org/safe sleep.
It's D.L. Hughley.
You can't kill your way to peace. We can have any number of experts talk about what's happening here, but ultimately it's this. It is powerful white dudes who want a resource. Like, we're going to pretend like we want you to have freedom, but really we want this oil.
Weekdays at 5 a.m. on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
The movement for repair is growing, from city halls to parliaments and around the world, from Chicago to Cape Town, from Evanston to the UN. I'm Robin Rusin.
And I'm Cam Howard. Together we're bringing you Reparations Now, where we talk power, policy, and progress, local, national, and international.
It's about justice.
It's about repair. It's about time.
Reparations Now, because justice cannot wait.
Reparations Now, Saturdays at 4 p.m. only on WVON 1690.
This report is sponsored by WeatherBug. Get the fastest local alerts and accurate 24/7 forecasts with WeatherBug. It's easy to use and provide real-time customizable alerts so the weather never takes you by surprise. Plan every day with confidence. Download the free WeatherBug app from the App Store now.
WVON traffic and weather now.
Ryan, a 30-minute trip from 95th Street into downtown. We're seeing a lot of brake lights right around 51st Street, then stop and go all the way to the Stevenson. The inbound side of the Bishop Ford slow, starting at 103rd. Tuskegee Airmen Memorial, no problems just yet. If you're on DuSable Lakeshore Drive, things look good from 67th Street to Jackson, Hollywood to Monroe, slow between Bryn Mawr and Hollywood. 45 minutes along the Stevenson end from I-355 to DuSable Drive, outbound, moving along at the posted speed. Already an hour on the Eisenhower from Thorndale to the Burns Circle. That outbound trip will take you 40. And we're looking at a 45-minute trip along the Kennedy end from O'Hare to downtown. We're seeing some delays right around I-90 to Lawrence. As you make your way outbound to the airport, that's a 45-minute trip. Partly sunny skies. The National Weather Service says we're headed to a daytime high of 56. Right now, it's 37 at O'Hare, 37 in Woodlawn, and 37 degrees here at the Talk of Chicago. That's a look at traffic and weather now. I'm NF Lenoy on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Keep your eyes on the road and both hands on the steering wheel. We will not be held responsible for any accidents. It's the WVON Morning Show with Rufus Williams on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
There is no one above you. I want you to know that.
Welcome back. We are talking with Dr. Keith Green. He is an HIV advocate here in Chicago, the executive director of the Chicago Black Gay Men's Caucus. Dr. Green, you're headed out to receive an award this weekend. Talk to us about the Truth Awards.
Yeah, so Better Brothers, LA, Diva Foundation, ViiV Healthcare, shout out to ViiV Healthcare, chose me this year to receive the Bayard Rustin Advocacy Award at this year's Truth Awards, which will be Saturday evening, hosted by the incomparable Vivica Fox. It really means a lot, man. You know, I'm a social worker from the South Side of Chicago, and I do what I do because I love my people and my community. So I'm never on the lookout for awards or doing it to be recognized. Oftentimes the work we do goes unrecognized. And I think when we come into this work, we accept that that's going to be the truth. So this really means a great deal to me. And I'm really, really honored and excited to accept this award.
Yeah, the Bayard Rustin Advocacy Award is no small thing, given who Bayard Rustin was and what he did. And
Absolutely.
And for so long, unrecognized in what it was he was doing, to your point about doing the work and not being recognized, but recognizing that the work needs to be done. So congratulations
Absolutely.
for you on that. There's some other pretty well-known and phenomenal folks who are receiving awards as well. Don Lemon's receiving an award. Duran Bernard is receiving an award. So much to this. And this is actually taking place, you said, it's in LA. It's recognizing these Truth Awards, people who are really getting work done in so many different areas, but need to have this is annually. It's the Black LGBTQ plus community gathers in Los Angeles to recognize and honor those who have made an impact on popular culture, politics, and the arts. So it's quite an acknowledgement for you to be there and receive this.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Have you already prepared your acceptance speech?
I have. I had to submit it early. They're giving me 90 seconds, man. I don't know how on earth I'm going to be able to do that, but we're working on it, trying to maybe edit it down just a little bit or asking for a little bit more time. You don't get this kind of honor that often, so you got to get out what you got to get out.
Yeah.
So it'll be, I'm excited to see how it goes.
You are undoubtedly going to forget someone, but it's not going to be God or your mom, because they always come first. And
that's right.
So
that's right.
And you're going to talk faster than you typically do, and the music is going to play, and you're going to be almost done, and you're going to wonder, how did this even happen? But it's going to be a wonderful evening for you, and a wonderful evening to recognize the work that you're doing, because it needs to be done. It's always, whenever we talk about HIV, it takes us back to the time when people were afraid to get close, to touch anybody. It was known as as GRID, right? The gay-related immune disease. But we've come so far in knowing what to do about it, recognizing it, and people really living with it and living good and productive lives.
That's absolutely right, man. We've come a long way. The stigma is still huge, though, right? There's still a great deal of stigma associated with HIV, which gets in the way of people sort of wanting to know their status. But again, I think with knowledge is absolutely power, right? We have made so many advances with respect to both treatment and prevention. I remember when, the ABCs of prevention. It was abstinence, it was be monogamous, it was use condoms. And while all of those things are great and still highly effective, they're not the reality for everybody who is potentially at risk for HIV. And so now we have pre-exposure prophylaxis. Again, as I mentioned, pill form, long-acting injectables, where, you can go get a shot every so many months and be protected against HIV. And again, we know that if people are treated for HIV and achieve undetectable viral load status, it is almost virtually impossible for them to pass HIV on to their sexual partners. So we don't have to live in the dark anymore. We don't have to live with so much stigma and shame. HIV is completely preventable and treatable. People can live long, healthy lives with HIV. I've been living with HIV since I was 17 years old. I'll turn 50 this year. So all of my adult life, and I'm here,
Well, I'm glad you're here and glad you came on to talk about this, because every now and then we need reminders, and this is still there, it's still real. But as you just pointed out, we've learned how to negotiate it, navigate it, and live with it. Congratulations to you on receiving the Bayard Rustin Award. And thanks, Keith, Dr. Green, for coming on with us this morning.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
All right, be well and travel safely. Let's find out from Annette what's going on in the news. Got a lot more for you when we come back after this.
Partly cloudy skies and 37, going up to 56 today. Good morning. I'm NF Lenoy, and here's what's happening. Funeral arrangements are set for Chicago firefighter Michael Altman. Altman died Tuesday from injuries one day after battling an apartment fire in Rogers Park. A visitation will be held March 26 at St. Rita of Cassia Shrine Chapel in Chicago. The funeral will take place the following day at the same location. Officials say the 32-year-old fell from the first floor to the basement and was rescued within minutes, but died one day later. Altman was on the job for nearly 2 years and was a fourth-generation member of the Chicago Fire Department. He leaves behind a pregnant wife and a young child. Well, Mayor Brandon Johnson plans to veto legislation that freezes tip wages, mostly affecting restaurant workers. Perry Williams has more.
I will continue to act in my full authority and ensure that this ordinance does not see the full light of day.
Meanwhile, some restaurant employees staged a rally yesterday outside of council chambers.
And if you freeze our wages, how do you expect us to live? Some of us actually go to food pantries to make it through the week.
Restaurants and small business owners say the measure has left them struggling The current rate for tip workers is $12.62 an hour. I'm Perry Williams.
That's our first look at news. On 1690. Weather and traffic up next. WVON News Time, 7:33.
Tuned in to your favorite WVON personalities on Facebook Live? Don't just watch, like it, love it, share it. Every click helps us grow the conversation and keep the community strong. So remember, like it, love it, share it, Chicago.
Remember when getting your hair done wasn't just a beauty ritual, but a bonding experience? From hot combs in Grandma's kitchen to laughter in the local beauty salon, it's a journey rooted in love, legacy, and style. Join Nidra Williams, owner of Solo Beauty Supply, for the business of black hair, Tuesday nights from 9 to midnight. She's bringing the sisterhood back. One story, one strand at a time. It's more than hair, it's heritage. Join the sisterhood, Tuesday nights at 9 p.m. on the Talk of Chicago, WVON.
At Charmin, we heard you shouldn't talk about going to the bathroom in public, so we decided to sing about it.
Charmin Ultra Strong. You can use less, better than the rest. Charmin Ultra Strong. Your booty past the clean test. Salmon weave texture, it's the best. Study up, teach a lesson on fresh. Your booty past the clean test. Yes, sir. Charmin Ultra Strong.
Charmin Ultra Strong with diamond weave texture cleans better than the leading one-ply brand, so you can use less. Enjoy the go with Charmin.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now there's a place where you can meet them fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. Build your team. Build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. And you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Hey, it's Cleopatra Draper. Join me for the Midday Show weekdays at 9 a.m. where we'll sip and spill all the tea. Do you want it hot or cold? Either way, we're serving up the flavor of the day. Weekdays at 9 a.m. right here on the station giving you what's now and what's next. 1690 WVON.
Hello, Chicagoland. This is your main man, Tio, Mr. Ceasefire Hardiman. I'm inviting all of my friends, associates, and colleagues to tune in to WVON, the Talk of Chicago, 1690 AM for the Tio, Mr. Ceasefire Hardiman Show. This show will cover all the hottest topics, including politics, reducing gun violence, and so much more, right here every Sunday morning from 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 AM, WVON. Thank you.
This report is sponsored by WeatherBug. Get the fastest local alerts and accurate 24/7 forecasts with WeatherBug. It's easy to use and provide real-time customizable alerts so the weather never takes you by surprise. Plan every day with confidence. Download the free WeatherBug app from the App Store now.
WVON traffic and weather now.
Still have 30-minute trip along the inbound Ryan from 95th Street into downtown. We're seeing most of the brake lights approaching 51st Street, then pretty much stop and go all the way to the Stevenson. Inbound along the Bishop 4, still heavy from 103rd to Tuskegee Airmen Memorial. We're seeing some brake lights right around the Stony Island feeder. Things are getting heavier along DuSable Lakeshore Drive, 67th Street to Jackson. Stop and go starting at Hayes. You're looking at just about a 16-minute trip. That trip from Hollywood to Monroe, solid from Bryn Mawr to Hollywood. Stevenson, much heavier, 51 minutes now from I-355 to DuSable Drive, outbound still, pretty much just about a 25-minute trip. If you're headed inbound along the Eisenhower, expect an hour from Thorndale to the Burns Circle, now 45 on the outbound trip. Things are heavier along the Kennedy as well, 50 in from O'Hare to downtown, slow-moving 45 minutes to the airport. Cloudy skies will in store for a partly cloudy day with temperatures right around 56. That's our daytime high. Currently, it's 37 in Midway, 38 in Oakdale Gardens, and 37 degrees here at the Talk of Chicago. That's a look at traffic and weather now. I'm Annette Flournoy on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
If you're not out of the bed yet, then what are you waiting for? It's the WVON Morning Show with Rufus Williams on 1690 WVON.
Each day was just another day, like the lonely Italy just came. They blew up when you were there. Everything's gone one day until you fell in my life. The spell that I'm under has caught me. I'm in a
Welcome back. Titus, Annette said she was going to fill her. She said, I'll tell you that I'll fill out my bracket, but I may not do it. so at least she's not telling the truth. She tells us she's not. I'll tell you what you want to hear, but I'm not going to do what you want me to do. So let's just remember that. We're learning much more about Annette every day.
Rufus, I'm actually going to do it. I mean, you talked me into it. I am. I'm going to participate in this. It's going to be a learning process for me, but I'm game. I'll do it.
Yeah, it'll just keep you interested. That's all that it is. That's all that it is.
You know how the first one's free. You're probably going to get me hooked here.
Well, there you go. They're all free unless you start betting money, which you can't avoid, Annette. It's possible. It's possible. Look, I'm happy to have my next guest join. After decades of disinvestment and stalled commercial growth, a group of private and nonprofit organizations have gathered to announce a regional coalition designed to attract new businesses, support existing and aspiring franchise owners, and accelerate economic revitalization across all 38 Southland municipalities. Particularly one that we're speaking about today is what's happening in Harvey. I have joining us this morning Terri Cox, Senior Vice President at Matanke Realty, and Kyle Garner, who's a founder of E&S Development. Terri and Kyle, good morning and welcome to WVON.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good. That was almost
morning,
in perfect, almost in perfect harmony. We're going to work on that for next time. Kyle, let me begin with you as the development person. Talk to us about what's happening down in the Southland.
Well, first of all, thank you for having us this morning. We really appreciate you taking the time to speak with us and highlighting some exciting things that are happening in the Southland. I think, in general, the Southland is an untapped, underserved communities, as you mentioned, 38 of them in total. And so we've kind of driven our focus to Harvey specifically because of the, again, disinvestment and the pent-up demand that we see from a housing standpoint, as well as all the commercial activity that needs to be happening, all the services that need to happen in that area. So that's what we focused on the Harvey and the Southland specifically.
And Terri, you've been doing things. You are an award-winning broker down in that area. What is it that's happening? What are you seeing and what's going on now down in Harvey?
What I'm seeing is with the way the market has changed, the goods and services that are needed in those areas are a lot of goods and services that you can't get when you go online. And so that actually brings us to a point where you need to make things into a combination. So instead of just always just having like one big retail center that only has department stores, clothing stores, shoe stores, it's starting to become more of a mix. So what you have is you have urgent care, you have the dry cleaner, then you also have the department store, the shoe store, so on and so forth. So you really got to dig deeper into these communities, get to know them, and understand the people that live there and what services they need, what goods they need, so you can combine them. And doing that, this is a very undertapped market. So bringing that to the community is something that we're all working on doing. And part of that is being able to bring franchisors and franchisees together, and then everything under one roof that can answer the questions that a business person has that's thinking of getting a franchise. And so that's what we're combining.
It's interesting to think back to the development of these suburbs and why people began to move there in the first place, moving out of the city, looking for better schools, better opportunities, more value for their dollars. But over time, what we find, particularly with the suburbs in the Southland, is that there was, in fact, disinvestment, which showed on a greater scale than it shows in some communities here in the city. What happened in Harvey, and what's going to change that to ensure that going forward, this is a developable community?
I would say what happened in Harvey is when all of the manufacturing companies started moving overseas. So Harvey used to be a mecca of different companies that actually were manufacturing different products there. So now that you can see that some of that is coming back, and then other types of industries have popped up, that's what's going to help Harvey get itself back going in the right direction. Plus, you have a administration there that's very pro-business, and that's part of what you need. And then you also need to be able to have incentives, because even as these new industries are popping up, you have other states that are competing for those same businesses. So you have to be able to compete on a scale in Illinois that's going to give the incentives needed to keep that industry from going to Indiana or going to Wisconsin. So they're very pro-business, they're very active, and they understand that these are the things that it takes in order to make their town grow, or city. It's actually a city.
And are the people downstate feeling and being helpful with what you all are looking to do there in Harvey?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. We actually, I'm sorry, go ahead, Terry.
No, you go ahead, Kyle.
Yeah, absolutely. We've, as Terry mentioned, we not only the local administration, but we also had a press conference about our franchise expo that we're having in April, and State Representative Will Davis was there and very supportive of what we're doing. We've also had conversation with other elected officials in general, but we got his support directly. So we think, as Terry mentioned, with all of this investment, it's really time to look at how some of these dollars can be redirected to the Southland.
And Will Davis, representative, is a good guy to have step out and do that. I don't know why Kappa Man keeps showing up in all these things. We just do. Talk more, if you will, about the Expo and Economic Development Conference.
So it's a combination of Midwest Business Association, like Gravity. We're also having the Southland Development Group and the Mayors and Managers Association all combining to be able to put this together, along with Governor State University. So when you put all that together, it gives you just about everybody that knows anybody that's doing something in the south suburbs in any of those 38 municipalities. And then we also have the municipalities that will be there, and what they will be doing is just being able to show what different properties that they might have available, whether it actually belongs to the municipality or if it is owned by, an owner that owns that land in that community. So it just shows the different areas that are possible for development, and then what incentives that they could offer in order to attract the franchisee to come to that area. So we're going to have attorneys, lenders, architects, contractors, brokers, insurance agents, pretty much everything you need to get your questions answered to be able to put together a franchise. And the goal is not just to put together the franchise, but also to be able to fit the needs so that it flourishes and keeps moving forward.
And if I could add to that, and most importantly, what are the next steps? So we have all these resources and have all these things. So we've actually have a development that's proposed, as I mentioned, on the intersection of 147th and Dixie Highway, to sort of spearhead all of this development. And I would say that we're not the trailblazers, we're just following the blaze. So we have at the corner, McDonald's, one of the largest developers in the world at the corner, because their business model is that French fries and burgers, it's real estate. Next to it is Castle Car Wash, one of the first buildings that have happened to come to Harvey in a long time. And then immediately south of that will be 10 acres development that we'll be doing, which will be comprised of 45,000 square feet of commercial space, 64 luxury apartments catered to senior citizens, veterans and market rate, and then most importantly, 22 townhomes promoting home ownership. So I think that not only will the people that attend the expo, say, I'm ready to get started. So we actually will have a development space for them to come to kind of execute on their dream.
It's fantastic. We're talking about the Franchise Expo and the Economic Development Conference that's taking place next month. We'll give you more about that. We're talking with Terri Cox, award-winning Senior Vice President of Matanke Realty, and Kyle Garner, the founder of E&S Development, about things that are happening on the positive side in Harvey, Illinois. We'll be back more with Terri and Kyle right after this.
More of the morning show with Rufus Williams coming up on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
What if you could have the most reliable Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years? That's the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Just 5 years of fiber-powered Wi-Fi that boosts speeds to the devices that need them most. That finds and fixes problems before you even notice them. Like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense. And that keeps you gaming in the fast lane, even when the whole family is banking on bandwidth. And here's the best part. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and our best equipment included. Plus, get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. Hey, let's face it, a lot can change in 5 years. Kids grow taller, dreams grow bigger, but your Wi-Fi, it would stay reliable and the price would stay put. The Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Xfinity, imagine that. Select plans only. Restrictions apply. Powered by fiber. Connected to the premises by coaxial cable. Actual speeds vary.
It's gospel with Pam Morris Walton, your gospel sister, on WVON Sundays, 11 to 2 p.m. Music to help you on your journey. I'll see you there. WVON.
It's the afternoon show with Atiba Buchanan and LaDonna Ray, your new favorite part of the day.
Tune in 3 to 6 Monday through Thursday on WVON 1690 AM. We ask the questions you're thinking.
And the ones you're afraid to ask.
The afternoon show, only on WVON.
The Friday night of premieres returns to Vaughn TV beginning March 27th. 4 nights, 3 feature films, 1 powerful short film showcase. Each Friday, Vaughn TV brings you stories that challenge, inspire, and spark conversation, from gripping documentaries that examine real-life events to powerful dramas that explore justice, identity, and the human spirit. Friday night of premieres is your destination for meaningful cinema beginning March 27th with a month of films that inform, provoke, and inspire exclusively on Vaughn TV. Watch on Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV Plus, the WVON app, or at VON.TV. Vaughn TV, for the culture, by the culture. Cancer isn't just a diagnosis, it's a journey. This Saturday on U Chicago's Medicine's Community Health Focus Hour at 1 p.m., host Cedric McCoy will discuss cancer care, prevention, management, and healing. Hear powerful stories from survivors. Get expert tips from UC Medicine physicians. Learn how to protect yourself and your loved ones, and discover real resources that can make a difference. Listen on WVON and Facebook Live. The Community Health Focus Hour, Saturdays at 1 p.m., powered by the Urban Health Initiative of U Chicago Medicine at the forefront.
This report is sponsored by WeatherBug. Get the fastest local alerts and accurate 24/7 forecasts with WeatherBug. It's easy to use and provide real-time customizable alerts so the weather never takes you by surprise. Plan every day with confidence. Download the free WeatherBug app from the App Store now.
WVON traffic and weather now.
Your travel times have ramped way up. You're looking at a slow-moving 42 minutes along the inbound Ryan from 95th Street into downtown. We're seeing some backups along the Bishop Ford as well. Now 19 minutes from I-8094 to Tuskegee Airmen Memorial, a 17-minute trip in. DuSable Lakeshore Drive from 67th Street to Jackson, just about a 16-minute trip. Hollywood to Monroe, just about 18. Pretty solid right now from Bryn Mawr to Hollywood. The Stevenson steady at 50 minutes in from I-355 to the drive, not happening much on the outbound trip. If you're on the Eisenhower, however, still that heavy hour from Thorndale to the Burns Circle. On the outbound trip, you do want to factor in an accident blocking the left lane at Canal. Right now, you're looking at a 50-minute trip there. Inbound along the Kennedy 50 from O'Hare to downtown, getting to the airport pretty heavy at 45 minutes. Taking a look at our weather, partly cloudy skies. The National Weather Service says we could see temperatures in the mid-50s today, back down into the 30s tonight. However, it's 37 at Midway, 37 in West Garfield, and 37 degrees here at the Talk of Chicago. That's a look at traffic and weather now. I'm Annette Flournoy on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Keep your eyes on the road and both hands on the steering wheel. We will not be held responsible for any accidents. It's the WVON Morning Show with Rufus Williams on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Welcome back. We're talking with Terri Cox, Senior Vice President of Matanke Realty, and Kyle Garner, the founder of E&S Development, about what they're doing down in the Southland, particularly in the city of Harvey. We talked about this Franchise Expo and Economic Development Conference. Tell us more about where it is, what time it is, and who you really want to come to it.
Okay, so it is April 20th. It'll be held from 8:30 a.m. until noon at Governor State University. And we're looking for, different business people that are interested in opening a franchise, or existing business people that perhaps have a business that they would like to figure out how to franchise. So any tenants that, are looking for spaces, looking for purchasing different properties, or what one of the municipalities might have available that perhaps, they could take over for a small amount of money and put it in. As far as for Harvey, we're looking for different tenants that would like to come in and open a franchise, or if they already have an existing business, if they're a local business person and they want to open up their second shop. Those are the types of people that we would like to have attend, along with any of the municipalities that are coming. So people that live in those different areas, if they just want to show up to see what's going on in their community, and that municipality will be there, then they should come too. So it's kind of an open forum for everybody to put their input in to be able to figure out how we can actually get the South Suburbs, which is a very untapped market, because real estate there costs less. There's incentives to get you to go there. You got a lot of great people that live out that way that need the goods and services that can be provided. So I think those are all the reasons why people should attend. And to be able to attend, there is an email that people can reach out to, which is director@midwestbusinessassociation.com. And then that will give you a registration form so that you can register to come. So if you are someone that has something that you want to display, then the registration would give you a table to be able to display your wares on. If you're just wanting to come because you want to walk around and you want to ask questions, then you just register, and it's free to attend. There's no charge. And you could just come in and ask whatever questions you have from some of the experts that have been dealing in the South Suburbs for years.
Great. And you said it's director@midwestbusinessassociation.com is the place
Correct.
to go to register. Now,
No, I can also give you a phone number.
Great.
That's 312-436-2075.
Great. Now, tell us why the focus, it seems to be on franchising and expanding businesses out to that area. I talked to Bo Kemp yesterday, who talked about as well entrepreneurship through acquisition and looking at that kind of opportunity down in the Southland. And you mentioned the McDonald's, which is a franchise, and also the Castle Car Wash, which I suspect is also a franchise. Why do you focus there on franchises?
So the Castle Car Wash, actually, the Castle Car Wash is not a franchise.
It's not, okay.
but the McDonald's is a franchise, and so is the Wendy's across the street and the Dunkin' Donuts across the street. And it doesn't, so that's what I was saying. It doesn't just have to be a franchise. It could be a local business person that either wants to move to a different location, or they want to open up a second store, or it could be a business that, is looking to franchise out their concept. So it could be a mixture of different things, but the reason that we made it for franchisee and franchisor to put them together is because you do have a lot of people that are seeking franchises and they're not sure how to go about it. So this is a way to connect them, but it doesn't have to just be just for that purpose.
Got it. I've got a caller once again to the conversation. Will, good morning and welcome to VON. What's on your mind this morning? Will?
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes, good morning. Will Davis. I'm the Vice President of External Affairs at Governor State University, and I just want to thank this group for choosing Governor State University to host this and to promote the Chicago Southland. We want and need economic development. We know that a strong Southland will make a strong Governor State University and vice versa. So I hope that it's a ton of people that show up at Governor State University on April 20th to look to do business in our communities surrounding the university. We have 4,000 students and 600 to 700 employees who will be glad to participate and to frequent these businesses. So I just wanted to say thank you and look forward to the results.
Well, thank you so much for your call and weighing in on that. That's necessary and important. Kyle, you were going to add something just a moment ago.
I was absolutely going to add, so a franchise, one thing that we know, first of all, it's recognizable, right? So, everyone knows McDonald's, everyone knows Wendy's, what have you. So, and everybody knows the infamous coming to America, McDowell's. So you just have an inherent brand recognition. So it's easier for you. It's actually kind of gives you lower risk as it relates to that. So your revenue stream can be more immediate than protracted with the independent business. You're gonna have the training and support from the franchisor. So if you're a franchisee that's a new entrepreneur going into business, you don't really know the things about it. So the franchisor, having proven business models and methods and systems and recipes, it just mitigates some of the risk about it. But as Terri says, our focus is there because we think that's more of a scalable operation. So we not only are trying to promote you franchise owners, but we want to promote multiple unit franchise owners where they have several locations. And obviously we want them to focus on the Southland because of the underserved communities there. And so that's why I would say it's something about why one would choose a franchise over a business, basically the risk being mitigated and support from the franchisor.
Got it. Appreciate it. It's time for us to go, but I've got a question on the board that if you can answer quickly for us, I'd appreciate it. Norman says the real estate costs less in the Southland, but the taxes are higher. How do you incentivize people to take part with that in mind?
You want me to answer that, Kyle, or you want to answer it?
Yeah, well, we can answer together. You start and I'll finish if you didn't get it all in.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
But do it quickly.
And so something that the municipalities offer is they offer a Class 8 tax reduction. And so if it qualifies for that, then that can reduce your taxes up to 60% for 10 years, or it could be 12 years. And then if that program is still available at that time, if it's renewable, then it could go another 10 to 12 years. So you're paying 60% less than what the taxes are assessed at. But there will be actual economic development departments of those municipalities that will be attending, so they can kind of help guide someone on that.
Okay, good enough. Look, Terri Cox, Kyle Gardner, doing work, developing down in Harvey. Thank you both for the work you're doing there. And thanks for coming on this morning and sharing with us here. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much. We appreciate your time. And thank you to all your listeners.
Right.
Indeed. Be well.
Okay.
Let's find out what's going on in Black Information News in the headlines. When we come back, a conversation about what you've been hearing a lot on WVON, Meet the Moment. We'll be back right after this.
Partly cloudy and 37, going up to 56 on this Thursday, March 19th, 2026. I'm in Illinois. Into the headlines. Funeral arrangements are set for Chicago firefighter Michael Alden, who died Tuesday after battling an apartment fire in Rogers Park. National news from the Black Information Network is next on the Voice of a Nation and the Talk of Chicago, 1690 AM, Berwyn, Chicago. It's 8:03.
Here's BIN News Now. Politicians are reacting to new allegations that the late labor leader Cesar Chavez sexually abused young women and girls. Former LA Mayor Antonio Villaraigosa says the claims are shocking.
Obviously, something that's like a blow to the gut.
The United Farm Workers, which Chavez founded, is canceling events this month as it reviews the allegations. In Georgia, Grady Health's board has approved plans for a new $900 million South Fulton Hospital, a major step toward replacing services lost after the Atlanta Medical Center closed. Officials say a standalone emergency room for the area is on track to open this June. And Mississippi ranks number 1 in the nation for deadly vehicle crashes. New NHTSA data shows the state averages 161 fatal accidents per 100,000 licensed drivers, with nearly 10 deaths per 100,000 residents. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app. Here's Terry McCready.
House Democrats storming out of a closed-door hearing with Attorney General Pam Bondi yesterday. She was briefing lawmakers on the Epstein files just after being subpoenaed to testify next month. During a House Judiciary Committee hearing last month, Bondi objected to a line of questioning from Democratic Representative Jerry Nadler.
I'm going to answer the question.
Answer my question.
No, I'm going to answer the question the way I want to answer the question.
No,
Your
you're going to answer the question the way I asked it.
Chairman Jordan, I'm not going to get in the gutter with these people, but I'm going to answer the question.
Democratic members of the Republican-led House Oversight Committee told reporters yesterday that Bondi refused to commit to complying with the subpoena for her sworn testimony on April 14th to answer questions about the DOJ's handling of records related to the late sex offender. Bondi says she'll comply. All right, House Democrats are launching a probe into special government employee Corey Lewandowski. Congressman Robert Garcia and Rick Larson, along with Black Congressman Benny Thompson, have requested an investigation into Lewandowski, who has been accused of mismanagement and corruption at the Department of Homeland Security. Lawmakers are demanding DHS preserve all documents and communications concerning Lewandowski's role within the department, as well as rescind a $100,000 approval policy. The congressman set an April 1st deadline for the requested documentation. The Senate Homeland Committee voting on the confirmation of Markwayne Mullin today.
And if he says the violence that happened to me, where I had 6 ribs broken, my lung damaged, part of my lung removed, 2 pneumonias, if he thinks that's justifiable and he can readily understand it, he can completely understand it, I think that makes him unacceptable and unfit to hold office.
The Republican senator from Oklahoma testified before the committee during his confirmation hearing yesterday as he faced some pushback, notably from fellow Republican Senator Rand Paul. The two men have been feuding for some time, and Paul came out of the hearing saying it was a no vote for Mullin, accusing him of having anger issues. If Mullin wins committee approval, his nomination is expected to go to the Senate floor next week. The House Ethics Committee is moving forward with its plans to hold a rare public trial next week for Black Representative of Florida, Sheila Sherfilis McCormick. The embattled Democrat is facing allegations that she stole millions in FEMA funding and is also at the center of a federal criminal case on the charges. She earlier requested to pause the proceedings before the Ethics Committee pending the matter in federal court, and the panel postponed its scheduled hearing once after Sherfilis McCormick said she lost her legal representation. Now the bipartisan Ethics Committee says the adjudicatory subcommittee in the case ultimately voted to reject the latest delay request. It also is rejecting a motion to hold the hearing in executive session. The public hearing begins a week from today. I'm Terry McCready for the Black Information Network.
This report is brought to you by Blindster.com. Kyle from Blindster.com started Blindster in his garage over 15 years ago to make custom blinds easy and affordable for everyone. You measure, you install, and you save big on custom blinds. Plus, they guarantee they'll fit. Blindster.com.
The Friday night of premieres returns to Vaughn TV Friday, March 27th. Opening night,
Vaughn TV takes you inside a story that shook the nation. Say Her Name. The life and death of Sandra Bland. She was 28 years young, outspoken, politically engaged. 3 days after a routine traffic stop, she was found dead in a Texas jail cell.
How do you go from failure to signal a lane change to dead in jail by alleged suicide?
Say Her Name, a gripping look at the 2-year fight between her family and Texas authorities, revealing new details, hard truths, and Sandra's own powerful words. Then stay with us all month for bold storytelling from fearless new voices. Friday night of premieres begins March 27th, only on Vaughn TV. Watch on Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV Plus, the WVON app, or at VON.TV. Vaughn TV, for the culture, by the culture.
It's Rufus Williams.
Honored to have in the studio with me this morning, Congressman Danny Davis.
Thank you for your analysis. I heard you as I was coming in and your assessment. I listened to you even when I'm in Washington.
Weekdays at 7 a.m. on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Hey everybody, this is Kendall Moore, the Kendall Moore Show, getting you from your work week to your weekend each and every Friday night from 6 until 9 p.m. I get you from your work week to your weekend. Church, tabernacle.
Kendall Moore, radio for the next generation on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 AM, WVON.
This report is sponsored by WeatherBug. Get the fastest local alerts and accurate 24/7 forecasts with WeatherBug. It's easy to use and provide real-time customizable alerts so the weather never takes you by surprise. Plan every day with confidence. Download the free WeatherBug app from the App Store now.
WVON, traffic and weather now.
The inbound Ryan jam-packed. You're looking at a slow-moving 45-minute trip from 95th Street into downtown, getting to the Dan Ryan along the Bishop Ford, now 20 in from I-80-94, just about a 20-minute trip along Tuskegee Airmen Memorial as well from I-80. DuSable Lakeshore Drive, things are still pretty steady there, but heavy. 67th Street to Jackson, a 17-minute trip, heavy right around Hayes, then again right around Soldier Field. Then on the north end of DuSable Drive, you are looking at a 20-minute trip coming in from Hollywood to Monroe. The Stevenson 50 in from I-355 to DuSable Drive, outbound, nothing major there. That inbound trip along the Eisenhower, still an hour from Thorndale to the Burns Circle. Outbound, you do want to give yourself 40 minutes. You want to factor in an earlier crash off to the side of Canal. If you're on the Kennedy, you're bumped up to 55 minutes from O'Hare to downtown. Getting to the airport, still a slow-moving 45-minute trip. The National Weather Service says we could see some partly sunny skies today as temperatures climb into the mid-50s. Back down to 35 tonight. Currently, it's 37 in Midway, 37 in West Garfield, and 37 here at the Talk of Chicago. That's a look at traffic and weather now. I'm N.F. Flournoy on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Happy Women's History Month from the station that celebrates Black Girl Magic, WVON.
Live from the Xfinity Studios, it's the station that America listens to, WVON, Berwyn, Chicago. It's Rufus Williams on Chicago's essential storyteller, WVON.
You wonder how I do it. It's just one simple rule. I'm just cool.
Honey, baby, can't you see? Girl, I'm so cool. Ain't nobody bad like me. Hey. R-U-F-U-S. What's that spell? R-U-F-U-S.
I'm just cool.
Honey, baby, can't you see? Girl, I'm so cool. Ain't nobody bad like me. Sing it, baby.
genius, the audio genius, the audio genius.
Welcome back. My next guest, I've been looking forward to speaking with her here on WVON. It's Shawnelle Richie. She's the founder of LL Strategies, a boutique communications firm that specializes in high-impact public-facing messaging. She integrates public relations, strategic marketing, and broadcast, digital, and social media to help organizations protect, position, and elevate their reputations. She's done a lot of things in her short life. She began doing public service at the city of Chicago, where she, believe it or not, was a speechwriter for none other than Mayor Harold Washington. She's also been the president of the Sears Roebuck Foundation, which I didn't know, so we have to talk about that. And she spent nearly 2 decades at CBS Television as vice president of communications and public affairs. Today, she's advising nonprofits, philanthropic institutions, and mission-driven companies seeking to strengthen their voice and deepen their impact. A number of other things in her background, but certainly that gives you a sense that we're talking to someone who knows. Shawnelle, good morning and welcome back to WVON.
Good morning, Rufus. Thank you for having me. I'm proud to be a part of the Rufus Williams show this morning.
That's right. You're now part of the Rue crew, and we're happy to have you here.
Rue, yes. I am thrilled. Thank you.
Shawnelle, we've been running advertisements talking about meeting the moment, and you've been very much involved as one of the co-creators of this. Talk to us about what that means. What are we talking about?
I'm happy to do so, but first let me get a few housekeeping things underway. First of all, I'd like to wish happy birthday to Titus, because I think that is the protocol for today and every day for the next month. So Titus, happy birthday. And I think you and I need to come clean with your listeners, Rufus.
Right.
You and I have been friends for a long, long time and through many transitions and iterations. And I just think that we should let them know that you and I have regular conversations that kind of incorporate what we're going to be talking about today. So those are my 2 housekeeping things. Anyway,
I was just going to let them think we were real smart, but now you've let the cat out of the bag, so we'll work with that.
Yeah, we got to work with that. But anyway, I am thrilled to be a part of this new midway broadcasting initiative called Meeting the Moment. It is the outgrowth of a couple of things. First of all, your leader, Melody Span Cooper, keeps her head to the ground and her heart in her business and recognize that a lot of nonprofits today are experiencing some challenges like they have never seen before. They are, there's a rising demand for their services. There's funding instability and uncertainty, increased scrutiny. There's a need for clarifying messages on every level. And there's a greater expectation to respond rapidly to the needs of the people these nonprofits serve. So in her wisdom, Melody Span Cooper reached out to this sister at the Chicago Community Trust, Iona Calhoun, who is a force unto herself. And we talked about what she was seeing on the ground. And we put together a project to kind of elevate nonprofit leaders and equip them with the tools that they need to survive this latest iteration of their business.
And Shawnelle, not-for-profits have been under siege for a very long time. Having run one, it's always a quest to get messages out, to get money in and do the work that needs to be done. Even getting constituents in when you recognize that the work that you're doing is what they actually need. So meeting the moment and meeting this moment becomes even more critical given what's happening in the administration, the push against a number of things that not-for-profits have been doing, particularly when they talk about who they are and who they serve. I suspect that will be part of what this whole concept around meeting the moment will be.
Yeah, and Rufus, let's put it in context. Nonprofits in Chicago, an essential part of our economic structure and our civic structure. In our region alone, there are tens of thousands of nonprofit organizations employing hundreds of thousands of people, generating billions of dollars in economic activity each year. Putting that in perspective, this sector employs more than 400,000 people locally, and they contribute more than $70 billion annually in revenue across the city. But beyond the numbers, what matters is their role as stabilizers. You know, this is a moment of uncertainty for nonprofits. And the first place people turn to are typically those organizations that are on the ground for services, for information, and for trust. So when nonprofit leaders are on the strain, their impact isn't isolated. It has a ripple effect across all communities. And we need to elevate the work that they do, who they are, and what we can do to support them. And that's what Meeting the Moment is all about. It is building on several platforms. Our first phase was to, do focus groups with select nonprofits to figure out where their pressure points were. And now we are approaching phase 2, which will begin on Saturday with a series of broadcasts, 13 weeks of broadcasts. So on Saturday, your sister station, WRLL and WVON, will dedicate an hour each Saturday to talk about these nonprofits and the work that they're doing. So I hope that answers your question.
Well, it certainly does answer that one, but we're going to get to a whole lot more because we're talking about Meeting the Moment, talking with Shawnelle, Richie, my longtime friend, about an organizing effort that she, along with Melody Spann Cooper and the Chicago Community Trust, have put together to really support nonprofit leaders through dialogue and communication. We'll be back more with Shawnelle right after this.
More of the morning show with Rufus Williams coming up on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON. It's D.L. Hughley.
You can't kill your way to peace. We can have any number of experts talk about what's happening here, but ultimately it's this. It is powerful white dudes who want a resource. Like, we're going to pretend like we want you to have freedom, but really we want this oil.
Weekdays at 5 a.m. on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
It's Gospel with Pam Morris Walton, your gospel sister, on WVON Sundays, 11 to 2 p.m. Music to help you on your journey. I'll see you there, WVON.
Catch Reverend Al Sharpton online at WVON.com or on the WVON app. Just click the Al Sharpton banner. Tune in every day at 12 noon for your daily dose. And if you miss it, catch the overnight replay from midnight to 3 a.m. We're keeping it real with Al Sharpton on WVON 1690.
Reverend Al told you personally, keep it real. Keep it real. Keep it real.
Hi, I'm Tavis Smiley, inviting you to join me weekdays from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. right here on WVON. I am bringing you a national perspective on all the happenings in the Black community and, of course, politics. It's talk radio for us, by us, and this is where America listens.
It's Tavis Smiley, weekdays from 6 to 9 p.m. on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Are you facing an unexpected financial emergency? You need WeFixMoney.com. WeFixMoney.com could help you get up to $3,000 fast. WeFixMoney.com is free to use, available 24/7, and has an A rating with the Better Business Bureau. Go to the name you trust, WeFixMoney.com. If you need emergency cash up to $3,000 for bills or anything else, type WeFixMoney.com directly in your browser. That's WeFixMoney.com.
Maria Pappas with Black Houses Matter.
We're up to way over 400 million here. Yeah, giving money back. How about that? People in Bellwood got 10 million, Broadview 6 million, Burnham 3 million, South Holland 17 million. The city of Chicago's up to $190 million that we have given back to African Americans. Who does that? Nobody does that but WVON.
Cook County Treasurer Maria Pappas with Black Houses Matter, Monday mornings at 11:30 a.m. on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
This report is brought to you by Blindster.com. Kyle from Blindster.com started Blindster in his garage over 15 years ago to make custom blinds easy and affordable for everyone. You measure, you install, and you save big on custom blinds. Plus, they guarantee they'll fit. Blindster.com.
WVON traffic and weather now.
The inbound Ryan jam-packed, still a 47-minute trip from 95th Street into downtown. The Bishop Ford, give yourself 19 minutes, right, 8094. As you make your way along Tuskegee Airmen Memorial, that's a 17-minute trip from I-80 to the Ryan. DuSable Lakeshore Drive, 67th Street to Jackson, just bumped up to a 20-minute trip. That trip from Hollywood to Monroe, now 23. The inbound Stevenson, still 50 from I-355 to DuSable Drive. Outbound, not too bad. Still looking at an hour, now just about an hour plus along the Eisenhower from Thorndale to the Burns Circle. The outbound trip, 45 and 50 on the Kennedy and from O'Hare to downtown. Getting to the airport, a 45-minute trip. Partly cloudy skies. The National Weather Service says we could see temperatures reach the mid-50s today. Right now it's 37 at Midway, 38 in South Holland, and 38 degrees here at the Talk of Chicago. That's a look at traffic and weather now. I'm NF Lenoy on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
If you're not out of the bed yet, then what are you waiting for? It's the WVON Morning Show with Rufus Williams on 1690 WVON.
Welcome back. We are talking with Shawnelle Richie of LL Strategy. She and Melody Span Cooper have been sneaking around. They call them confidential meetings, but they've been sneaking around having meetings, gatherings with nonprofit leaders, Black and brown nonprofit leaders, which developed into this whole series of Meeting the Moment as a way of really assisting these nonprofit leaders with some of the challenges that are before them. Shawnelle, talk to us about how this came to be. How do you and Melody go from whatever you all were doing, having dinner or whatever, to really getting into some serious conversation about helping these not-for-profits and helping our city in the way in which you're doing?
Well, you know, your boss lady always has a plan. And if she doesn't have it at the moment, she is going to make a plan that deals with some challenges confronting our communities, our Black and brown communities. So I think this really evolved from, kind of what was going on over the last 12, 14 months. There has been a significant change in the climate related to nonprofits and the work that they do. And they were under attack. And so she reached out to the sister, Iona Batiste-Calhoun, at the Chicago Community Trust, and started talking with her about what she's been hearing among the communities. I mean, if you think about your two guests prior to me, Dr. Green and the folks from the Southland Development Group, they capsulized what's going on and how the resources have kind of dried up. And as a result, the Community Trust, which I need to give a shout out to the Trust and to Iona, they are the leading community foundation in my opinion, this country. And they are dedicated to strategic philanthropy, civic leadership, and direct investment in communities. So they were the perfect partner for this initiative. And they partnered with Midway Broadcasting, and we decided that we would start with listening. And we engaged nonprofit leaders, brown nonprofit leaders and Black nonprofit leaders, to talk to them directly about what was happening in their communities and with their nonprofits. And these conversations were confidential. We structured the conversations around what was emerging, not just as a single issue, but as a pattern with leaders navigating multiple and overlapping pressures. What became clear is that communication and providing services is threatened. And communication specifically is no longer a support function inside of these organizations. It's an essential function. And we are, with the next phase, we are going to equip nonprofits and their leadership with strategies for how to maintain trust, how to communicate with their funders, how to generate new funders, and move their organizations forward in a time of really significant challenges. We also heard that there was a gap between what leaders are being asked to do and what support they'll have that's available to do what they're being asked to do. So this series is about being able to close that gap and about being able to communicate the needs of our nonprofit community, and so that we can maintain this essential workforce in our area.
And so, as you think about what they're dealing with, particularly in this area, in this moment, what this does is really challenge people in ways which aren't otherwise seen. So, staffs burn out. They're concerned about what funding would come from. There's concerned about what happens when they say certain things, which everybody now becomes concerned about, unfortunately, in this environment. So when you mention communications, that covers so many things when we think about today. Were some of those the things that these leaders were sharing with you?
Absolutely, Rufus. You could not extract the need for direct and ongoing communications on a lot of levels from what their mission has turned into. If you think about what was happening with ICE and how the Latino nonprofit community organizations were challenged, they needed, kind of crisis communications work. They needed to figure out how to access media. They needed to figure out how to reassure their funders that, the work was still being done and essential. So if you combine all that, you see the pressure that nonprofits are facing today. It's very different than what they were facing 3-5 years ago. So yes, communications is an essential part of what these nonprofits need now.
Indeed. We're talking with Shawnelle Richie of Elle Strategies about Meeting the Moment, a series that will take place here on WVON and WRLL for 13 weeks every Saturday. I will tell you about the host and some of the things that we expect that they will talk about going forward when we come back right after Annette tells us what's in the news.
More of the morning show with Rufus Williams coming up on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Partly cloudy and 38 going up to 56. Good morning. I'm Annette Flournoy, and here's what's happening. Funeral arrangements are set for Chicago firefighter Michael Altman. Altman died Tuesday from injuries one day after battling an apartment fire in Rogers Park. A visitation will be held March 26 at St. Rita Cassius Shrine Chapel in Chicago. The funeral will take place the following day at the same location. Officials say the 32-year-old was on the job for nearly 2 years and was a fourth-generation member of the Chicago Fire Department. He leaves behind a pregnant wife and a young child. Well, Mayor Brandon Johnson plans to veto legislation that freezes tip wages, mostly affecting restaurant workers. Perry Williams has more.
I will continue to act in my full authority and ensure that this ordinance does not see the full light of day.
Meanwhile, some restaurant employees staged a rally yesterday outside of council chambers.
And if you freeze our wages, how do you expect us to live? Some of us actually go to food pantries to make it through the week.
Restaurants and small business owners say the measure has left them struggling. The current rate for tip workers is $12.62 an hour. I'm Perry Williams.
Also discussed, Alderwoman Stephanie Coleman wants to honor late civil rights leader Reverend Jesse Jackson by renaming Kennedy King Jackson College. In a similar honor, State Representative Cam Buckner proposed renaming a stretch of the Dan Ryan Expressway the Reverend Jesse L. Jackson Memorial Highway. The civil rights icon passed away last month. He was 84. And the Chicago City Council was busy at work. Out of yesterday's meeting, council members voted to raise the hotel tax. Mayor Brandon Johnson says the increase will generate nearly $40 million a year. The City Council voted to hike the city's tax on downtown hotels from 7.5% to 19%, the highest in the nation. Well, that's a look at our news now on 1690 WVON. Traffic and weather up next. WVON News Time, 8:32.
Tuned in to your favorite WVON personalities on Facebook Live? Don't just watch, like it, love it, share it. Every click helps us grow the conversation and keep the community strong. So remember, like it, love it, share it, Chicago.
Health for moms, care for children, and wellness for families.
That's PCC Community Wellness Center, right here in your neighborhood. We walk alongside you through every stage of life, from prenatal care, midwifery, and doula support, to family medicine, dental care, specialty services, parenting guidance, and even nurse home visits. Because your care should feel personal, supportive, and close to home. PCC Community Wellness Center, because strong families build healthy communities. Schedule your appointment today at pccwellness.org or call 708-383-0113. Funding provided in whole or in part by the Illinois Department of Human Services.
This Women's History Month, we're amplifying the brilliance, the boldness, and the unapologetic power of women who refuse to whisper. These are the women who roar, the lawmakers, the CEOs who walk into boardrooms and flip the script, the journalists who ask the hard questions, the organizers who move communities from outrage to action. These women are breaking barriers, rewriting narratives, and redefining what leadership looks like, fueled by courage and driven by legacy. Listen to Women Who Roar, an exclusive feature on WVON, because quiet was never the assignment.
It's time to focus with Robert McKay. Quality conversation, protecting, preserving, and preparing our past, present, and future. Sunday evenings at 4 p.m. on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
The movement for repair is growing, from city halls to parliaments and around the world, from Chicago to Cape Town, from Evanston to the UN. I'm Robin Rusin.
And I'm Cam Howard. Together we're bringing you Reparations Now, where we talk power, policy, and progress, local, national, and international.
It's about justice.
It's about repair. It's about time.
Reparations now, because justice cannot wait.
Reparations Now, Saturdays at 4 p.m. only on WVON 1690.
This report is brought to you by Blindster.com. Kyle from Blindster.com started Blindster in his garage over 15 years ago to make custom blinds easy and affordable for everyone. You measure, you install, and you save big on custom blinds. Plus, they guarantee they'll fit. Blindster.com.
WVON traffic and weather now.
A slight improvement along the inbound Ryan, now 35 minutes from 95th Street into downtown. Getting to the Ryan along the Bishop Ford, a 20-minute trip in from I-80-94 with a lot of brake lights right around 103rd Street and slow all the way in. Tuskegee Airmen Memorial, a 19-minute trip in from I-80. DuSable Lakeshore Drive, that northbound trip from 67th Street to Jackson, 20 minutes as you make your way from Hollywood to Monroe, still just about through 23. Now bumped up to 55 on the Stevenson from I-355 to DuSable Drive outbound, a 40-minute trip. Still slightly over an hour on the Eisenhower from Thorndale to the Burns Circle, that outbound trip 50, and almost an hour now on the Kennedy from O'Hare to downtown, getting to the airport, just about a 40-minute trip. We're seeing just a peak of sunshine today. The National Weather Service says we can reach a daytime high in the mid-50s, 56 so far is the official high. Currently it's 39 at Midway, 39 in Inglewood, and 39 degrees here at the Talk of Chicago. That's a look at traffic and weather now. I'm Annette Flournoy on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Keep your eyes on the road and both hands on the steering wheel. We will not be held responsible for any accidents. It's the WVON Morning Show with Rufus Williams on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Welcome back. Turn to our conversation with Shawnelle Richie of Elle Strategies about Meeting the Moment, a series that will take place here on WVON and on our sister station, WRLL Radio, helping leaders of not-for-profits get through some of the challenges that exist even more so today. These stories will be led by the multi-talented Lori Smith here on WVON. Lori's our organizer. Lori sings. Lori's everything. And as well, Jessica Tapia on WRLL, who I just had the pleasure of meeting just a moment ago. Shawnelle, as they get into these conversations, What is it that the hope is that will come from that? And who is it that we hope will be listening?
We hope everybody will be listening, Rufus, because nonprofits, even if we don't realize it, they touch all of us, and they are grounding our communities today like never before. This series is built for them, so that hopefully the nonprofit to nonprofit communications can increase. Because what happens is a lot of these people work in silos. They do their work, and they're so immersed in the work and services they provide, they don't have a chance to talk with each other. So that's one outcome that we hope will happen. We're going to do a segment each week on a non-for-profit that is doing the actual work. We're going to showcase and tell the listeners what they're doing, why they're doing it, and its impact. And we hope that listeners will call in with suggestions, any kind of fundraising tip, anything that we can do as listeners and as members of these communities to move these organizations forward, because we need them. This series is built for a time when these nonprofit leaders are navigating on lots of fronts, and they need our help, not just funding, but policy, and a rising need in the community to do more with less.
So often, having sat at the helm of one of these, we are faced with so many different things, whether it's funding, whether it's board operations, looking at how we best serve the communities that we're serving, how we expand the services that we're giving or contract them in certain cases, and really knowing how best to do that is important. So hearing other leaders and the challenges they have in the space is going to be important. And to your point of people, we all are either benefiting from, helping, have benefited from, but somehow can add something to the spice of this, because you gave some pretty alarming statistics at the beginning, Shawnelle, about the amount of money that goes through the number of people who are being served. And particularly now, we don't even know what some of the things are that are upon us are going to impact us. Jobs are being lost. They're hitting some communities harder than others. We don't have ICE in our city right now, but we had them, and it impacts so many people. So when you start to think about the kinds of and the different stories or the different emphases that will happen on each week, has there now been a layout of what those will be at this point?
Yes, there has, and we will bring that to you on Saturday when Lori and Jessica take the helm for the first show in this 13-week series. But we're going to talk about everything and highlight some of our most essential nonprofit organizations. We're going to talk about the funding challenges. We're going to talk about kind of the growing mission that each of these organizations are confronting, because the needs are greater. If you think about, at least when I was head of the Sears Roebuck Foundation, it was a time of less challenge. We funded, we trusted the leadership to do the work they told us they were going to do, and we left them alone. But now it seems like there is a greater lens from the federal government, from funders, from all sorts of, kind of input organizations that are, bearing witness to and trying to indirectly lead these nonprofits. So we're going to talk about all that and hopefully come up with some communication strategies that are workable, that are actionable, that nonprofits can take away from each of the broadcasts on this 13-week series.
Shawnelle, in your super secret meetings with everyone, did you find similarities between what the Latino community and the Latino-led nonprofits are experiencing? Are they any different than what African-American-led not-for-profits are experiencing?
Well, Rufus, that was really one of our most startling surprises. We thought that Black and brown nonprofits were confronting the same issues, and the fact is today they're not. There are crisis pressure points impacting the Latino community, particularly when they're dealing with immigration and ICE and all of those kind of untenable things that we were witness to earlier this year and last. So the Latino community and their not-for-profits have a very distinct and urgent need to kind of convene and communicate differently. The African American-led organizations are facing similar but not the same pressures that the Latinos are. Their pressures come from funding. Their pressures come from, staffing and feeling the pressure of doing more for a greater portion of the communities they serve. So it's very different. And we were surprised by that with our super secretive phase 1 meeting.
Well, you all did it. There's confidential meetings that I don't even know about, and I try to pay attention to everything that's going on around here. But it's important that you did it, and important that they are. I suspect that there are some things with respect to organization and broad communication that are similar, but the issues that they need to address, Black communities versus Latino communities, are different, particularly given this great assault on immigration, and recognizing the people who come into Chicago makes it very different for each of these organizations, which undoubtedly is why one of the conversations are being led by Jessica Tapia versus Lori Smith here at WVON. But
we thought it was really interesting to kind of make sure that we have people speaking directly to those leaders, because they're not the same. Jessica is an amazing storyteller. She is so conversant about what's going on in her community and why it's happening, and will be expert at leading those conversations. Lori Smith, as you said, she is all things to all people, and really sat in those meetings, those super secret meetings, and took away things that were kind of discreet, and built them into real issues that she's going to talk about every Saturday for the next 13 weeks on VON. So it's going to be an interesting dynamic. And when this next phase is over, we're going to see, kind of how we can build upon what we learned from the broadcast and take it into phase 3 of Meeting the Moment.
Now, I gave your background at the very top, Shawnelle, and you've touched on so many different places that are so relevant here in philanthropy, in communications, in government. So as you look at all of these places and all these things, and you think about what it is that not-for-profits need right now, I suspect the development of this series and Meeting the Moment, you've got some thoughts about what the moments are that need to be met, and more importantly, what the strategy is in getting to the future. Share some of the thoughts that you have about what the issues are that may be experienced now by these different groups.
Oh, Rufus, that's a loaded question, and probably takes another hour to kind of digest and explore.
Well, let's do this. Why don't you digest it? We'll take a break, and we'll do it in 10 minutes. How about that? We'll be back. We'll wrap up our conversation with Shawnelle Richie, talking about Meeting the Moment, which is taking place here on WVON and on WRLL beginning Saturday for 13 weeks. We'll be back, wrap up our conversation with Shawnelle right after this.
More of the morning show with Rufus Williams coming up on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Catch Reverend Al Sharpton online at WVON.com or on the WVON app. Just click the Al Sharpton banner. Tune in every day at 12 noon for your daily dose. And if you miss it, catch the overnight replay from midnight to 3 a.m. We're keeping it real with Al Sharpton on WVON 1690.
Reverend Al told you personally, keep it real. Keep it real. Keep it real.
I know you're gonna dig this.
As reported earlier, Christy Nome is gone.
See, it wouldn't
you should
want to
never
be
trust a gnome, though. Only reason you trust a gnome is around Christmas. That's it.
Or in the garden. In the garden.
I told you, her and Pam Bondi and Christy Nome and Donald Trump wear so much makeup, they hug each other. They'll make a creamsicle. Donald Trump look like his makeup is Dorito dust, doesn't it?
It's the DL Hughley Show.
It's the afternoon show with Atiba Buchanan and LaDonna Ray, your new favorite part of the day.
Tune in 3 to 6 Monday through Thursday on WVON 1690 AM. We ask the questions you're thinking.
And the ones you're afraid to ask.
The afternoon show,
only on WVON.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now there's a place where you can meet them fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. Build your team. Build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. And you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Hey, Chicago, this one is for you. Join OG Mr. Rick for the OG Culture Report every Thursday night from 9 to 12 right here on WVON 1690 AM. We're talking the culture, our stories, the streets, politics, entertainment, our struggles, our wins, and the voices that matter. Don't miss it. Every Thursday night, 9 to 12, the OG Culture Report with yours truly, OG Mr. Rick on WVON 1690. That's it. That's all.
This report is sponsored by WeatherBug. Get the fastest local alerts and accurate 24/7 forecasts with WeatherBug. It's easy to use and provide real-time customizable alerts so the weather never takes you by surprise. Plan every day with confidence. Download the free WeatherBug app from the App Store now.
WVON traffic and weather now.
Inbound Bishop 4, not too bad. We're seeing a few brake lights approaching 103rd Street, then stop and go to the Ryan Tuskegee Airmen Memorial, a 19-minute trip in from I-80. Once arriving at the Dan Ryan, you'll need another 32 minutes from 95th Street into downtown. DuSable Lakeshore Drive, that trip from 67th Street to Jackson, right around 16, Hollywood to Monroe, 20. If you're on the Stevenson, you'll need 52 minutes in from I-355 to DuSable Drive, 44, traveling out. Still steady at an hour on the Eisenhower from Thorndale to the Burns Circle, that outbound trip at 40. And the Kennedy, moving along at 50 minutes from O'Hare to downtown, getting to the airport, a 40-minute trip. The National Weather Service says we'll see a mix of clouds and sun today, temperatures climbing into the mid-50s, then tonight dropping back down in right around 35. Right now it's 40 in Midway, 40 in South Shore, and 40 degrees here at the Talk of Chicago. That's a look at traffic and weather now. I'm Anna Flournoy on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
If you're not out of the bed yet, then what are you waiting for? It's the WVON Morning Show with Rufus Williams on 1690 WVON.
Welcome back. We are wrapping up our conversation today with Shawnelle Richie of Elle Strategies, talking about meeting the moment, a development that happened from a conversation with Shawnelle and our boss lady, Melody Spann Cooper. We then reached out and got involved, Iona Batiste-Calhoun of the Trust, and now we have these wonderful series beginning this Saturday on WVON, hosted by Lori Smith, on WRLL, hosted by Jessica Tapia, that will really explore what leaders need to know, getting information from and getting information to our listeners about what's happening in the not-for-profit world. So, Shawnelle, before the break, I just mentioned all the places you've been, which are so attendant to this issue. What is it that you think the issues are that they need to be paying attention to?
Well, I think that's a loaded question, Rufus, and I think that the nonprofit community is a huge, essential member of our broader community. And we need to close the gap between what these nonprofit leaders are facing and the support they actually need. So that's why Lori and Jessica are going to take these 13 Saturdays to tell their stories, because they are isolated and they need to know that they are not alone. What they're experiencing is something that can be understood by their peers, and they need to know their peers. So I would say closing that gap between the leaders and their peers, and also communicating, because communications is no longer an optional tenet in the work that they perform. It's essential. They need to learn how to communicate not only with each other to get the resources and strategies that could be helpful in advancing their businesses, but they need to learn how to communicate and corporate communicates with crisis management strategies, learning how to write a press release, learning how to reach out to businesses that would potentially provide funding, learning to expand their network of, broad board members who might be able to find additional funders. So it's a myriad of things that we'll be addressing in this 13-week series. And we hope all of your listeners, Rufus, will tune in. Again, Lori is a provocateur, and so is Jessica, and the conversations will be dynamic, and the features on the nonprofits that are the doers will be dynamic. So I think that kind of capsulizes what we hope will happen as a result of this Meeting the Moment project.
Indeed. And one of the things I noticed, Shawnelle, in being in the community, there are a lot of organizations, but sometimes it appears to be more like Swiss cheese. And so in bringing them all together, or bringing them together in this way, at least having opportunities for the communication to occur may help to close some of the gaps in communities that one may think the other is doing, one may not want to infringe on the other, or just may be some needs that may not be seen because everybody's just trying to do the thing that they're doing. So this kind of conversation, certainly here on VON and on WRLL, will open up the possibilities for people to see where some of the gaps may be as they look to try to close in on what's necessary in leading these not-for-profits.
Well stated, Rufus. And I just want to underscore that the series begins on Saturday, the 21st. The conversation on WRLL will be from 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock in the morning, and on VON with Lori from noon to 1 p.m. And it's going to be dynamic, as most things are on WVON and WRLL. It's going to be a good talk.
Is this going to be like church? Are they going to talk about the same thing but in different languages on the same days?
Yes and no. I don't know if I would say it will be like church, but it will be a conversation specific to the audience that we're trying to reach. Because as I said, the challenges faced by the Latino-led organizations are not necessarily the same challenges that the African-American-led organizations are facing. So there will be some differences, but the topics will be the same, and hopefully the convening of these groups will be the same, and they can cross-pollinate.
Really important, and the more we do together, the stronger we are. What we found certainly in this environment is that there has been a push to divide more of us as opposed to bring more of us together, and the othering of people.
Right.
So right here, while this is happening through Midway Broadcasting, it is certainly a way to connect all the pieces and to try to stop from othering and see that we can certainly be stronger together than we are separate. So it'll be interesting to see at the end of this 13 weeks how we have brought that together and how we've dealt with some of the challenges that people have. How are you guys going to evaluate? How are you and Melody going to evaluate how this is done after that time?
So we start and we end with listening. It is important not to presume that we know everything. So the outcome of these next 13 weeks will dictate what we're going to be doing going forward with this initiative. So we're not going to, lay a prescription over what's going to happen. We're going to deal with it as it unfolds, and as we aggregate the information that we gain from the series, we're going to put the next phase of the program together.
Well, beginning this Saturday, March 21st, it will an hour-long weekly program on WVON from 12 to 1, hosted by Lori Smith, on WRLL from 9 to 10, hosted by Jessica Tapia. It will also be online after the broadcast, so more not-for-profit leaders and others, community members across the region, can have access to the conversations that take place. And as Shawnelle mentioned, each one will have a segment called The Doers, highlighting the missions of organizations that are serving Chicago's Black and Brown communities and the challenges they face in sustaining that work. Shawnelle, you are magnificent as always, and have been even more so this morning in sharing all this information with us. An hour goes by quickly when you're talking to folks who know what they're talking about. So thank you so much for being here and sharing all of this information with us. You're the best.
Thank you, Rufus. Right. And again, I hope everybody tunes in on Saturday.
They will, or we're going to go find them.
As only you can do.
As only we can do. And we will do that. Shawnelle, again, thank you so much. It's been wonderful chatting with you this morning.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Be well. We're going to leave it right there for today, ladies and gentlemen. It's been great. I appreciate Dr. Green. I certainly appreciate our guests who came on for the work that they're doing down in Harvey, Terri Cox and Kyle Garner, and Shawnelle for giving us all this information about this big program that we're doing here, Meeting the Moment, developed as she suggested, and important for everybody to know, and every single body to engage in what we're doing here. So we're trying to help to meet the moment. You're helping us do so as well. So check out Meeting the Moment beginning this Saturday with Lori Smith. And then, as always, we appreciate you for giving us all the information that gets us through the day. And Titus, thanks for keeping all these things together. Enjoy your birthday. We've enjoyed the illusion of cupcakes and champagne. So someday, maybe we can trick Annette. Annette, are you having a birthday this year? You already had it? Okay, so the only birthday that's left is mine.
No, it's gonna happen Monday. I'm hold me to it. Hold me to it. It's gonna happen Monday.
We'll see. We'll talk about it on Monday. We'll see what happens. There's always a reason. Mine was that the store was closed. There's always something. But I did bring the champagne. We just didn't open it. But anyway, happy birthday to you, in case I don't talk to you tomorrow. But you said we would, so we'll see. So we'll see that too. You might celebrate. Nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen, I ask you, as I always do, as you go through the course of the day, you will come across people who are dealing with things that you know absolutely nothing about. So please be kind, always. And with that, Annette, tell us what's in the headlines, and T-Dub, take us home.
Partly cloudy skies, 40 degrees, going up to 56 on this Thursday, March 19th, 2026. I'm Annette Flournoy. And in the headlines, the Chicago City Council approves a $27 million settlement to the family of a woman killed during a police pursuit nearly a decade ago.